Hey, I'm JR.
And I'm Mike from the 18 Over Par with Mike and JR podcast.
Welcome to Season 5 of the pod, where we'll continue exploring the sights, stories, and sounds of golf on the prairies, where you'll find some of the most golf courses per capita of anywhere in the world. And beer. Lots of beer.
That's right, JR. More beer.
It's the 18 Over Par podcast with Mike and JR.
You suck, you jackass.
Welcome to 18 Over Par with Mike and JR, proudly presented by Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. I'm JR, he's Mike, and today we're joined by our PGA Tour and Live Golf correspondent, Adam "AWOC" Walker, to run down all the odds for the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. We break down all the favorites, long shots, Canadians in the field, and everything else PGA Championship. It's hot. And we're back. And we're also on Zoom. Mike's wearing a hoodie, though. Why are you wearing a hoodie?
Yeah, I'm in the basement, the bunker. I got the AC pumping, and it's cold down here.
Well, it's not outside.
No, it's hot. It's hot.
It's hot, and so are some of these odds. We were just going through the odds for the PGA Championship, as this is our annual gambling guide, our fifth all-time gambling guide for the PGA Championship here on 18 Over Par. And we're joined again by our PGA Tour and Live Golf correspondent. That is Adam "AWOC" Walker. Do you have your spreadsheet? Did you make a spreadsheet for this one, or is that exclusively for the Masters?
Yeah, no spreadsheet on this one. I got my screens up in front of me, though, because we have the convenience of Zoom. So I've got everything. I got the internet at my fingers, everything we need.
Internet at your fingertips. What a guy. And I got my phone. I got the apps open. I got CoolBet open. I got 365. I printed off some other ones. I forget where they're from, but I got some other one on the paper. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from both CoolBet and Bet365. So there's some numbers out there that are looking good. We might as well just get into the favorites right out of the way. Rory McIlroy. He's won here before.
Yeah, well, Rory, so we're back at Quail Hollow. This is a regular stop on the PGA Tour. We come here every year. It was at the Wells Fargo Championship. They just changed the name to the Truist. It was obviously not there last week during the Truist Championship because they have moved it to the PGA Championship. So it's also been here as the PGA Championship in 2017, and that was Justin Thomas winning that one. But Rory, we know with the Wells Fargo, he's won it 4 times in the past. So a lot of good stuff cooking up with Rory. Obviously, the great year he's having, the Masters win, the Players win, a couple other wins, and now he's coming to the place that he's historically dominated. So kind of everything is lining up Rory's way right now.
And he is, on most of these, the top guy, although I have seen Scotty Scheffler, his number has moved to either right next as a tie with Rory, but also he has, I guess you could say, lower odds, 1 and 4, where I've seen Rory 1, to 1 and 4, 1 and 5. They're moving all over the place here.
I think Scotty is right up there with Rory, and just because Scotty's obviously been playing well for years now, but he hadn't had a win yet in 2025 until the other week, and he kind of blew everyone else out of the water with a minus 31, I think was his final score. So Scotty's back. I think it's pretty safe to say that he and Rory are going to be at the top of the leaderboard, but there is another guy who's going to be up at the top with them, and that's Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, how are you feeling about Bryson? He just seems to stick around in majors now, which, hey, good for him. And he's got, out of the live guys, he's got the best odds, according to the odds makers, for winning this whole damn thing. But another guy I was surprised about, and before we even jumped on here and started recording, was John Rahm, to see his number where it's at. I don't know if I'm putting money on John Rahm at that number.
Yeah, I mean, John's still kind of going on his reputation. He's started to play maybe a little bit better, but he's not really the same John Rahm that he was when he left the PGA Tour. So I think he'd still see him up there because, like we've said with, Rory and Bryson being at the top and Scotty, it's big hitters. Like, this is a long golf course. It's the third longest on the tour this year. And you got a couple, par fours over 500 yards. It's a test. So if you're not a long hitter, you almost kind of, I don't want to say you have no chance, because you could always have a chance, but this one's all about the long hitters. And John Rahm can certainly hit the ball a long way.
Was this maybe working into something that's similar to Pinehurst from last year, where we saw Bryson and Rory dueling it out all week?
Yeah, I think there's a great chance of that, but Scotty, you can't really rule him out either. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be this is the kind of tournament where it's going to be, I think, mostly stars up at the top of the leaderboard. You're not going to see too many long shots coming through. There's always the chance, but the big boys they're going to be competing in this one.
Who do you got up there, Mike?
Well, Walker said that, it's a long course and somebody who's going to be able to bomb the ball is going to be contending, right? And quickly get into the weather.
Hell yeah. I was just going to ask you.
It's going to be wetter than a fish's funeral. But the course was closed to spectators today. Heavy thunderstorm forecast that shows rain for Tuesday and Wednesday, highs of 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. And then Friday looks pretty good. Saturday might be some rain, but Sunday looks to be clear sailing. But basically, if the fairways are wet, that ball's not going to be rolling out as much. And those big hitters, those are stars there. Scotty, Rory, Bryson, their carry is immense. And where some people may have similar driving distances, they're getting that rollout. Kind of like myself, like hit it 200 yards, get 60 yards rollout.
Just the low lasers.
The low left to right lasers.
Weather is going to be certainly a factor at Quail Hollow. I got to mention our boy JT. It's always a long shot.
He's playing great. Yep. He's playing great right now, and he's got the history too.
Where did he win? He won the RBC Heritage a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
A few runner-ups. He obviously won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow back in 2017. So.
It is interesting you bring up the point, though, with the weather, because maybe that plays into the hands of guys who are still, expected to finish top 10. But that could help out guys like Xander and maybe Colin Morikawa as well, who their approach game, well, I mean, you look at the top guys, they're all around, they're great. But this might help maybe keep guys like Xander and Colin into it throughout the weekend.
Because they're big hitters?
No, not so much as their approach game. So if balls aren't rolling out, it's going to come down to approach shots.
Sticky greens,
baby.
Yeah, and I think Xander's definitely live. I mean, he's the defending PGA champion, so he's got a chance, and he's another guy that's got a really good history at Quail Hollow. And he's a pretty big hitter himself. Mm-hmm. He can really pound the ball off the tee. Colin Morikawa, not so much. He's definitely a guy that's known for the iron game, but Xander, he can hit it with the best of them.
Did you guys see Xander's champion dinner menu?
I did. I can't remember. I saw a lot of really interesting stuff. I think clam shooters was one item on that list.
It was,
if I'm not mistaken.
Clam casino shooters, whatever that is. I'm guessing it's a
sounds like an OnlyFans account.
The smoked goat cheese dates.
Oh, interesting. That actually sounds pretty good.
Smoked throat goat cheese dates and pickled watermelon with feta and jalapeno. So that was interesting. I don't know. Never had that. I did look up the recipe for that. So
It's a lot of different flavors.
I
going
know.
on with
I
that
don't-
one.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it.
steak and blue cheese crostini, and then a Wagyu New York strip for
Yum.
the main, and then dessert was banana split and strawberry shortcake. So,
Hell yeah.
mm,
Jeez, now I'm
Yeah.
hungry.
yeah,
I
gotta
had,
get some
I had the special today at Southwood. It was an island burger. So it was a
Pineapple
burger
burger.
with a pineapple round on top.
I knew it.
Wow.
It was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's not a bad combo. I used to get that at Fat Burger. I don't know if they
Oh,
still
yeah.
make that. They've got the pineapple burger there.
Yeah. Well, this
Mm.
wasn't on the menu, and so I asked him, like, well, did some pineapples just roll off the truck? And you're like, hey, we got to use these things. And
Exactly.
I didn't get a
yeah.
definitive answer on that, but it was good.
The drink special on the weekend was pina coladas, so they had a bunch of pineapples left over.
There you go.
It was good though. But that does
Oh.
sound good. Yeah. Now we're gonna get onto the food here.
Yeah. Well, and then I again on the weather there, I saw on the social medias Matt Siama. He was out there putting in the rain, and there must have been 2 inches of water on like the putting green. I was like,
Yeah, I don't get
smokes.
that. What are you getting out of that?
no kidding. Like dedication, sure, but like you're not getting feels from that, and I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah,
Good
that
on
is
him.
strange. Unless he's working on something where speed doesn't matter, because you'd think you'd need to have that figured out. But we know the course is going to play tough. AWOC, as you said, it's long with some water. That rough could be even more miserable to play out of.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a long rough. You know, that's how they like to do it. I think I heard 2.5 or 3 inches to start the week, and then it'll just grow from there, especially with all the rain they're getting.
Mm.
Yeah, and another guy who's in their top, Ludwig Oberg. He again then it kind of drops off after them for more of a middle of the pack guys, but I think we covered all the top guys in and around there. I like it on the cool bet where you have McIlroy and Scheffler versus the field. One or two of them wins it. It's not a bad. I think that's paying plus 240 right now. Let me see it here. That's not a bad thing to look at. And you mentioned Michael Block. He's in there as well. He is expected to miss the cut, according to the odds makers.
Oh wow! Was it Block Nation? Is that what they're?
Yeah, Block Nation. Oh man,
Yeah.
too bad
Well,
for
there's
him.
A bunch of other PGAs, obviously. I think was there like 20 different PGAs that qualified.
Yeah, right, because it is the PGA. It's the Professional Golfers Association golf tournament in the States. So if you qualify, you
Yeah,
can play in it.
PGA of Professionals, I think it is the tournament name or something, which is confusing because you're basically saying professional twice.
Doubling down on the professional.
We get a fact check on that.
Mike's looking it up right now. He's got the second screen going. He's got all
We
the
got one
pages he's
screen.
flipping. Oh, okay.
Walker has like 6 screens over there.
Yeah, I'm in the command center here. I got all the screens.
The Doppler radar's up. He's got it all, man. Top Canadian. This is a good one, too. And I'm looking at Nick Taylor's number. He played well this past week. And also Mackenzie Hughes. Mac Hughes played well this week. Is about Walker, as you mentioned, there were 2 PGA Tour events going on. There was a Truist as well as there was the one at Myrtle Beach. And so Mac Hughes ended up losing in a playoff, but he is in the field. We got Corey Connors, Taylor Pendrith, Mac Hughes, Nick Taylor, and Adam Hadwin rounding out the field for the Canadians. Corey Connors, he is by far and away expected to be the top Canadian in the field. But I like Nick Taylor's number or even Mac Hughes' number. Paying plus 400, plus 450. If you have a top Canadian bracket, maybe take a ride on one of those guys.
Yeah, both those guys are playing well. I do wonder with their distance off the tee. Like neither one is really known for that. You know, Nick Taylor, good iron. Nick Taylor's kind of a good all-around golfer. Mac Hughes is more of a, on the green. He's where he really shines. But kind of a guy I like is Taylor Pendrith because he is just such a bomber off the tee. Like I think he's near the top of the entire tour in terms of his driving. So Taylor Pendrith could be an interesting one, as long as, if he can try to keep it in the fairway off the tee, that would really help out. But he's definitely got the distance.
Well, and that's maybe why odds makers have him as the second for the Canadians when it comes to the betting board. Yeah, Connors and Pendrith, then Mac Hughes, Nick Taylor, and Adam Hadwin. But Connors, I always roll on him for a top 10. It seems to be sure money no matter what it's paying out. I always try and lean on him for a top 10. I would really like to see him break through,
consistent.
But man, it just seems to fumble it when the pressure gets a bit too high.
Yeah, it just seems just out of reach for him.
Right.
But he's still hovering around that in that top of the list kind of guy.
Even during the Masters, it was so frustrating watching him where he couldn't sink a birdie putt from anywhere. But then if he was trying to make a par putt, if it was 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, dropping them. So frustrating. So frustrating. But if he gets his putter working, he's one of the top ball strikers on tour. If he gets that flat stick working, he could be a top 3 guy for sure.
Yeah, and the putting isn't going to be, the test isn't going to be with the putting really at this course, I think. So it kind of does play into Corey Connors' hands.
We got live golfers in the field as well. I'm going to scroll back up here, see if I can find all the ones in there. DeChambeau, he's got the best odds according to the odds makers on winning the damn thing. Mentioned John Rahm. Then a guy not too far behind is Joaquin Niemann. We talked about him quite a bit during the Masters show because he's having a pretty darn good year, and a lot of pundits and PGA Tour and Live Golf correspondents. Joaquin Niemann is one of the top golfers in the world. Maybe if he was on tour, he might be seen as one of the top 5 players in the world.
Yeah, he's definitely near the top of the Live Tour, and I think we haven't necessarily seen that translate into the majors yet, but it could at any time. And he's a big hitter. He's one of those guys that you kind of watch him swing the club, and he just wings it way back and then launches it. He's kind of got like that catapult, kind of a lanky body type, and his back really bends. But really, a great, super talented golfer. He definitely is live for this one.
And really far down the list, and it's kind of shocking to me to see these guys kind of fall off the way they have. Cam Smith and Dustin Johnson.
Yeah. Again, with like Cam Smith, he hasn't really been, the same guy since he left the PGA Tour, and his specialty, he's another guy that's a short game guy, so he's probably not going to be on my list too much. One guy I do like is Tyrrell Hatton, because he can really hit the ball, and he's had, some decent history. So he's a guy that I think, I think I saw him around, 50-1 or something like that. And that's I think a pretty fair number for him.
Fair. Nice. But
not my favorite person. If you want, if you asked, I don't know.
Like personally or golfer?
Oh, personally, yeah.
He's got a fiery personality, I would say.
I can't handle it.
I don't like it.
Well, one guy I know you like, Mike, Shane Lowry. He's been playing very, very well, and I've seen him anywhere from 5 or like plus 5,000 all the way up to plus 6,000. And he's a guy that's been playing really, really well. Again, if it's playing to the Bombers this week, maybe he's not in there, but he's still got a solid all-around game.
Well, yeah. Speaking of livestock, Quail Hollow used to be a dairy farm.
No way.
Yeah, so Sugar Shane may be grazing out there this week.
What do you mean livestock? Who said livestock?
That's the joke, I think.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Shane's the biggest guy on tours, right? So, it was a stretch. It was a stretch. I didn't want to call him. I didn't want to call Shane a cow. That would be
the bull.
The bull, yeah. Anyways, did you have Eugenio Chikara on your list there, JR, AJ?
He's way down there. Like he's a huge long shot, but he hammer the ball. That's kind of bring up that
force rate. Yeah, I wouldn't put the house on him, but Eugenio Chikara from Spain, the Spaniard.
There's a few kind of, like, I don't know if these guys are going to like win the tournament, but when you look at, top 20 or top 10 bets, I think there are some kind of really interesting names down in the lower range of guys who have played well and are just like big hitters, like a Jake Knapp, for example. Like he can really pound the ball, and this might be a good setup for him. Or even what was another guy I was looking at? Keith Mitchell. Like he's actually a legitimately, competitive golfer, and he had a good week last week, and he's paying 150 to 1. So that's kind of that to win the tournament. But that's a guy that can legitimately compete. So some names down there actually are kind of interesting.
Throw him in a top 20 parlay, maybe with someone else.
Why not?
Even throwing in like a Sepp Straka.
Or sometimes before the tournament, you can get those head-to-head matchups, based on guys who are playing together or whatever it may be. And so you can just bet. I like to do just a few of those, maybe 3 or 4 head-to-head matchups on a parlay. They're tough to predict, but can really pay off.
That's what gambling's all about. Tough to predict, but it can pay off.
Exactly.
Put that on a billboard.
One of the storylines I was following was Jordan Spieth. He needs the PGA to close out his career Grand Slam.
He does. That's true.
That'd be nice. We've already seen
what is he in
what Rory do right this year. Rory's done it this year.
Right.
Maybe Jordan's the next one.
There is a bet actually on Cool Bet. Sorry, Mike. Just to say, you can put down a bet right now for Rory to win the rest of the majors. It pays out like, I don't know, it's like plus 39,000 or something like that.
I'm on that one. I'll see if I can bring it.
They'll limit your bet. Like I was only able to bet $5 on it, but it pays out like 1,700. So if you want they call it the Rory Slam.
Hell yeah.
Called the Tiger Slam, but
I got it at plus 33,509.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's paying out a ton.
Yeah, it's like, why not throw some money?
Exactly.
Go along for the ride. Imagine if he wins the next 2, and then we get to what's the last one, the Open. Geez, that'd be pretty exciting.
Real exciting.
It would be super exciting.
Which is in Ireland this year, I think, at Royal Portrush, if I remember correctly.
Wouldn't that would just be, there's a lot of good storylines, and it's a good thing that you brought up Spieth there, because he's been playing okay as well.
Absolutely. Like before last week, like he was T34 last week, which is, that's whatever. That's a fine result. But before that, he was top 18 for 4 weeks in a row, including tied for 14th at the Masters. So Spieth is actually playing quite well right now.
And we know he can hit those recovery shots.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And he's not a big bomber off the tee, but he's a guy that, he could step up when it comes to a major. It's been a while, but he's still got the talent.
Anyone on any long shots here?
I don't know how deep you really want to go, just for some of the reasons I mentioned, but like Ben On is a guy, I think he's at 250 to 1. He's actually been playing well this season. I could be interested in him. Siwoo Kim, another guy that's been playing well and has some history of big wins. He won the Players a few years back, so that's a guy 150 to 1. And another guy I'll mention real quick is just Tony Finau. He's also playing 150 to 1, and he's, he hasn't won in a while, but he's a legitimate star. So, and another guy that can really hammer the ball off the tee. So Tony's kind of an interesting one.
Was there a lot of chatter earlier in the season about Tony potentially going to LIV?
I think I did hear a little bit of that, but I don't know if it really went anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but he just doesn't seem kind of like the same player he used to be this season anyway. Yeah,
I think there might have been some controversies around Tony that weren't LIV related. I don't know. Maybe some sort of issue in the news.
Got any more information on that, Adam?
No, you're going to have to do a little look up in the background. I'll talk about one more guy here. Rico Hui from the
Rico.
Philippines, from Manila in the Philippines, and just absolutely hammers the ball off the tee. Like, he's had a couple decent finishes lately. He hasn't won anything. It would be a real shock to see him win, but you could get him. Was he's paying like 500 to 1 or something like that?
Jeez,
So
wow.
just throw $1 on him. Like, why not?
Or put him in a top 20.
Yeah, exactly.
I always like those ones. Or even if you get into the weekend, like say Saturday, maybe do a neat little parlay there. Pick 6 guys that you think are going to top 20, and it usually pays out pretty well.
Yeah.
Haven't hit one of those yet, but I'm going to keep on trying. You can't win if you don't play.
Yeah. No, just back on Rory there. Obviously, he's won at Quail Hollow, but he has the course record at 61. Yeah. And he's moving back to England. I think he already moved back to England.
Rory.
Sold his house in Florida, and he's moving back to England.
Well, there you
Interesting.
go.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that
Probably,
inside information?
I know a guy. He worked at the dairy farm, but yeah.
The livestock farm.
Too many PGA correspondents just poking around, looking in his windows.
Yeah, probably. Well, he's been in the tabloids are after Rory a little bit too for his relationships and love life. Some excitement.
And it's like, then why would you move back to England? Because then they're going to crush you over there. But maybe he's doing that for family, right? Because
Maybe.
it's good to be closer to family when you got some turmoil and some shit going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's true.
when they move back to England and then work in North America, that usually works out pretty good for family situations.
Talking from experience, Mike?
No.
Well, when you got your own private jet, does it really matter? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
You just go wherever you want.
Hell yeah. Vegas, baby. Or Niagara Falls. Keep it Canadian.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I didn't have really anyone. I'm with you, Walker, on you got to think it's going to be a top guy
Yeah.
that's going to walk through here. But a couple other names that I've been looking at: Wyndham Clark, Russ
Also
Henley,
won
Jason Day.
2024
Yeah.
Wells Fargo right before he won the U.S. Open with him. Clark. He hasn't been playing as well, but still bombs it, and obviously has the history.
It's one of those. Now, no hate. I don't want any hate from this, but I think Tiger mentioned something. But it always seems that golfers fall off for maybe a year or two when they get a new girlfriend or they have a kid. And Wyndham Clark is one of those guys.
I see.
He's got a girlfriend,
and a
new
new
girlfriend.
kid.
No, he doesn't have a kid, I don't think. He's got a girl. But if he had both, then for sure, I'm not putting any money in and around him. But I think, JTE kind of fell off. Ricky Fowler kind of fell off. But now he's coming.
Ricky's in the lineup.
He is in the lineup. I don't know if he'll.
No money
I
on
don't know.
Ricky.
Yeah, he hasn't really been that competitive, but
What are the
he's
odds
going to be there.
that Ricky will wear orange?
I don't know. Does he still do that?
Well,
They'll have some
maybe
orange
a
on
little
him,
bit
I
more, maybe a subtle orange,
Yeah, like a creamsicle kind of thing.
possibly. I got George Cobb as the course architect. Invented a few other things too. Rumored to have also been the inventor of the Cobb salad. And then he also created the par 3 course at Augusta.
No way.
Really?
Yep.
There
And
you
then
go.
Quail Hollow is a par 71. So I didn't look close into it. I'm not sure where we're missing one, but I guess we're missing a par 5 or something.
I think there's an extra par 3.
Okay. That's cool.
Interesting.
I believe.
Yeah, that would
Could
certainly
be
help
wrong
level out the
Could be
scores.
wrong on that one. No, that might be you might be right. The one par 5 is missing. That's different.
There's probably a par 5 they turned into a par 4, but it's 530
Yeah,
yards.
that's what I'm kind of thinking. That might
Maybe.
be the case.
They got the Green Mile, holes 16, 17, 18. Those are notorious for difficulty, lots of water to avoid, lots of trouble.
Yeah, 16 is over 500 yards, and that's a par 4. And then the par 3 after it, the 17th, is 220. So that's like 8th hole at the bone territory right there.
That is a tough hole. And then the number 8 at the Assiniboine Golf and Country Club. And then it follows up with a narrow dogleg right par 5. So if you have a blow-up number on that, it's like, well, now I got to force something in here to make a birdie. Then you can end up putting one off the curling club at Deer Lodge, and next thing you know, you finish 6-8.
Yeah. That has happened to me several times, actually.
Yeah, ditto. I've felt that before. We got to get some water, though, boys. We got to get some water on these courses. We need some rain. We got to do a rain dance. We don't want the snow, but we want some rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big rain on Thursday, so we'll see how that goes.
That would be nice.
But they don't, Quail Hollow, no curling clubs adjacent to the fairways, just huge mansions.
Maybe there's a curling club in one of those mansions. We don't know.
Possibly. There's certainly some tennis courts, basketball courts, large swimming pools. Former Blockbuster CEO has his mansion right there on the course.
Wow.
He's still got money.
He got out early, I guess. Yeah.
Golden parachute, man. Golden
Smart.
parachute. Yeah.
And David Tepper, billionaire owner of the Carolina Panthers. Tepper.
Carolina Panthers. Nice.
Yeah. You ever been to Charlotte, JR?
I have, yes. I've golfed down there.
Yeah.
Just outside of Charlotte. There's a humidity warning. I think the temperature was 110 or 113 Fahrenheit. It was very hot. Yeah, we were wondering why there was no one on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
And that was why. So they gave us a bag of beer because they didn't have the cart out because it was too hot. So they gave us a bag of beer with ice in it. And then we also had a few Gatorades. Didn't pee once the entire round. And I don't even know how much I drank between beer and Gatorade and waters. Did not pee once. That's how humid it was. It was just coming off of me.
Nice.
And the rest of the boys, yeah. Beautiful courses down there, though. Beautiful courses.
Different heat down there.
Sure is. Get that salt water stickiness from the ocean.
Yep.
And some snakes.
600 feet above sea level. As we lots of elevation talk this week, but
yeah, what's with the elevation? I like it.
And they changed the grass to Bermuda when they hosted the PGA in 2017. So,
and that was the year JT won, wasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty sure it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And no reported murders at Quail Hollow. Remember one year, I think it was at Torrey Pines. There was like a murder or something in the parking lot, or some guy. He was like a serial killer. He got arrested in the parking lot of Torrey Pines.
Yeah, I think that was the case.
Yeah, you told the story on the pod, I think.
Yeah.
So now every time there's a major, I gotta Google if there was ever a murder at the club.
And there very well could have been, but they may have just swept it under the rug.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Put it in one of those mansions.
Brought him to the dairy farm.
One other guy, Victor Hovland. Usually, like last year, we were all over Victor. This year, been a struggle. He's either missing cuts or he's winning tournament. I don't know if that's a guy you want to put any money on, but he's still got decent odds. The bookmakers like him.
Yeah, no one knows what to think of him just because he's so inconsistent. So I think they just slap 50 to 1 on him and say, sure, if you want to bet on him, go ahead. Who knows what's going to happen? I did see Minwoo Lee was down at 100 to 1, and he's won this year. He's kind of cooled off since he won, but I don't know. He's got all the talent, so it's such a big number for a guy like him.
Yeah, he's done it. He was at the President's Cup. He's done it on a big stage. He's now, winner this year anyway. But again, like these majors just seems like the big guys, they're set up so well for the big guys.
Oh yeah,
who are playing extremely well. Maybe it's fixed. I don't know. It's sports entertainment. Who knows? But regardless, the big guys are doing extremely well this year on tour. And I really like, I'm really not on any long shots. I'm all up on the guys at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Any other facts there,
Absolutely.
Mike? Or do you have a quiz for this one?
No. I did read there was some rumored paranormal activity.
Okay.
In the club or on the course?
Yeah, in the club late at night, the workers, the cleaners were hearing footsteps and then they go and there's nobody else in the building or they said a caddy who never left. Golfers reported seeing a shadowy figure on the hole 16 at dusk. Apparently a caddy died on the course at some point.
Oh,
So
I think this is a
murder?
rumor.
maybe there was a murder.
I think so.
That's what we're saying here.
Do you know what a quail is, Mike?
Yeah, it's a small game bird. Yeah, it's very prevalent in that area.
Is it small? I thought they were big. I don't think I've ever seen a quail.
I think it's like a prairie chicken-ish.
Throw it back to Wedding Crashers, if you remember the line. I believe it was from Vince Vaughn. I don't even know what the fuck a quail is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going quail hunting.
I don't know. You ever watch? Well, you guys watch Alone? Aren't they're always catching quail in that survival show?
Are those quails?
I thought so.
Yeah. What do they always call them?
And they're like dumb. They like just walk into the traps.
Yeah, yeah. One guy had just like a coil of wire on the end of a stick.
That's
and
all.
was
Yeah.
sneaking up on them.
Right.
Really?
I think those were
Yeah,
quail.
it's pretty good.
I would like to. I've never had quail eggs. They sell those at Superstore there. Super value, as my mom likes to call it.
Oh,
Shout out,
yes.
Marilyn.
Shout out. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have anything else. I didn't want to go. I feel like I dove pretty deep into the some of this.
Yeah, it was great. I like the
Those are
facts.
good facts. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Thanks, Mike.
I like the big facts guy. Like I said,
He's bringing
that's it
the
for
heat.
me. That's
Yeah,
all I
that's it
have
for
for my
me.
guys. Okay. Well,
Shut her down.
we'll
Let's
shut
all
it.
go
Well,
get a Cobb salad.
some quail eggs. But I want to give a shout out to Bryce Matlashewski. Is he in Nashville yet? Or no, he's going down? Or was he
Probably
there this weekend?
week.
This
Yeah,
week?
probably
Okay.
this week.
Well, he is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of I Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. Just go to our Facebook or Instagram or Blue Sky. Find us 18 Over Par. Click on that bio, or it might be 18 Over Par Pod. Just look for 18 Over Par, and it'll pop up in your search. Give us a follow. Click that link. The bio will take you all the way to our link tree, and we'll have a bunch of links in there, including that of Bryce Matlashewski. We also have some info on some golf tournaments that are coming up, except for the GOATS golf tournament. We're still looking for, I think, a few more players, maybe a team or two. So we have a post on our socials for that. So just DM us for some more information, and we'll get you in there, because hopefully the long weekend this weekend is going to be the worst of the weather we're going to see this summer. And then for Goat Fest, it's going to be awesome. But thanks again, AWOC, for joining us for your picks. Mike, as always, love you. Now let's go have a Cobb salad and get some quail eggs. Have yourselves a wonderful evening and enjoy the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bye-bye.
Go on.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.